Light of Mine Bakery. That is kind of an unusual name. I do have to tell you, now you're way, way, way too young for this, but there's a song called That Little Light of Mine. And I don't know if you know it. I think it was partly a church song.
I know the song, and I actually get a good crowd of people that think that I based the bakery name off of that song. But it's actually named after my daughter. Her name means dawn or light, so I kind of wanted to find a way to pay tribute to her without actually using her name. So we juggled around a few different things, me and my boyfriend, until Light of Mine just, I really liked it and it stuck with me. And I'm the type of person that is so indecisive. So when I like something, we have to keep
You just
it.
have to go or else forget it. So so that just stuck. But like I said, I do have to tell you, ever since we connected and that name came on, I can't get that song out of my head, which is actually a good thing because that is a very positive, we've got that light in us and we got to let it shine. And I just think it was, a happy accident for you.
Yeah. They played it a lot in like vacation Bible school
Oh,
growing up
right. Yep.
for me, in Sunday school and everything. So I'm familiar with that
Yeah.
song.
It's a
It
feel
sounds
good one. So
like
if
a good
people kind of relate it to your business, then you're golden.
memory.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the baking business and how does it connect to your personal journey kind of through you had some difficult times around 2021-ish
Yeah, I dealt with some stuff back in 2020, going
when the
into
pandemic was happening.
2021. Yeah,
What did
I
it relate
didn't,
to that?
no, it did not.
Okay, okay.
But and then I got injured the beginning of 2021, so it put me out of work for a good bit. I just got really bored at home. I needed something to take my mind off of everything and to just, I don't know, give myself something to do. So I remember one day I got out of bed. I was so tired of being at home, and I looked up a cinnamon roll recipe. I had some apples that needed to be used, so I made an apple pie inspired cinnamon roll.
Oh, wow. Now that sounds
And
interesting.
I gifted them to my boyfriend and his family to try, and they ate it up.
Oh, wow. Do you have that in your repertoire now?
I do not. I have cinnamon rolls,
You might need
but
to bring it back
that's true.
now that you put it in everybody's head.
Yeah, it is a good one. It's like an apple pie filling that I make. Just cook the apples down with all the good spices and cinnamon and all. And then you just do the same thing as you would with normal cinnamon rolls. Just put that apple pie filling layer, and it's really nice.
Ah, that's interesting. It might, be one of the things to set you apart as well. You might want to bring it back. So,
Yeah, I might.
do you have, at this point, did you have your daughter yet or not yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you were at home, you were injured, you were at home, and you were getting bored. And so you started that. And then at some point you got pregnant and then had your daughter. And then how did that turn into, wait a second, I was home and I was bored, but now I want to be home because I have my daughter. So,
Mhm.
tell me how that kind of turned out. Now you've got this baking business.
So when my daughter was born, I was already baking a lot and cooking a lot for my boyfriend. But she came along, and I started making a lot more homemade and all natural options. Not that I wasn't before, but it's like I completely went organic and all natural. And I didn't want to give her the baby foods when she was old enough to start taking it. So I actually would puree organic fruits and veggies myself and make them into like fun purees for her. I would just be really creative in the foods and everything I would make her, just to kind of entice her, because I knew coming into parenting that the biggest challenge is like getting your kiddos to eat all of their fruits and veggies and like their
Right,
proteins and stuff. So I wanted to introduce her to a wide variety of stuff earlier on so that we could kind of help her just love food.
right.
And then when it comes to baking, as she's gotten older, she loves helping. When I'm rolling out dough, she'll go roll, 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 and she'll want to do it with me. And then when I'm mixing anything, we'll go mix, mix, mix in circles, and it's just so sweet. And having her help me, especially when I have that time to do so, it's nice to take that time and slow down a little bit because life
Right.
can get a bit go, 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 and enjoy those little moments.
Right. It's that hyper, I need things, instant gratification that life has come to now with our smartphones and constant um, stimulation going on. So sometimes it's good to just kind of stop. And I was going to ask you if she was helping you. So I'm just curious, how did your grandmother or grandmothers influence how you shaped your path of becoming a baker?
My grandma, honestly, I've always loved watching her bake stuff in the kitchen and just, I've always looked up to her cooking in general. She, to this day, she doesn't see how amazing and talented she is when it comes to those things, but I just, she's amazing. I mean, she makes some of the best baked goods I probably ever had, and I'm never gonna make better. And I just remember those moments as a kid, like her making us Rice Krispie treats and chocolate turtles and red velvet cake and just all the goodies, but also that Southern comfort food is
Right,
my grandma makes that.
right, right.
So it's just I've always looked up to her when it comes to that. My godmom, she kind of got me into like interested in cakes and decorating them because
Oh,
when her kids were growing up, she would make their birthday cakes and everything, and I thought that was so cool.
right,
So it's just I've always loved just watching people make cakes in general. Like on TikTok, I love following just people that make really beautiful things because that's amazing to me, and that's art. And it's beautiful to see how people can turn these cakes into artwork and give it to others to enjoy.
yeah, exactly. Um, you said that your grandmother, is she still alive?
Yes, she lives in Georgia.
And she knows that you're doing this for a living. How does she feel about it? Is she all proud of her little
Oh,
granddaughter?
her and my grandpa are my biggest cheerleaders. They love when I send them pictures of the cakes, especially. But I'll send them all of the pictures of what I'm making and all the orders I'm doing. But they're really happy for me, and that to know that they're proud makes me happy.
Right, and
Actually,
that she knows that she's a huge influence.
hmm and
Now,
the jams that I do, I actually kind of learned how to do it. Well, I did learn how to do it through my grandparents. They used to make jam all the time, and I was so curious. I'd always be looking over their shoulders just to see what they were doing, and I'd ask so many questions on like the whole process of it all. And I just 2021 was the same year that the cinnamon rolls I made, and then I made grape jelly and strawberry jam. But I remember calling my grandma and just asking about some pointers and what to
Right,
do. So her and my grandpa like helped me a little, and I made my first batch, and it was nice.
right. Well, you
Mm.
in Peyton, were you in Peyton at the time?
At the time of, oh no, I was living near Interquest area, kind
Okay.
of. Um, so I was up over there in an apartment.
So now you're not, I mean, it's still, what, 4,000, what are we, 5,000 feet above sea level? Did you find in Colorado Springs, did you find any issues from like your grandma's recipe or her tips or anything? Did you have to modify anything?
The there's a few differences. You for the elevation difference, you just have to cook it a little longer. So it wasn't like add anything or take anything away, which was nice. It was just cook this a bit longer so it'll set better.
Gotcha.
So there was a slight adjustment in the time, but everything else is the same.
Okay, great. And so you did mention with your grandmother, she's an amazing baker and amazing, cook and everything, but she doesn't know it. Talking to somebody, I think she just got that kind of thought about herself. I know I'm embarrassing you a little bit, but it that runs in the family, apparently. And I know from somebody who has tried your goods, it was wonderful. I tried the banana bread and the, I think it was sourdough, and then your jam. It was interesting because it's strawberry and lavender. And so, I tried it and I'm like, oh, this is really good. And what's interesting is your pieces float to the top. Did you have that? And so it just like I've never seen that in a jar of jam before. So I'm like, huh, I wonder what she's doing in that. But it was a great flavor and different than what you buy off the shelf.
I love the so my grandparents, they'll take the fruit parts out of it, and strain out the fruit parts. I love keeping them in. I love the
I do too.
chunky. I love a chunky jam. So that's one difference too. That's the other difference is I just kind of mush the fruit up where you can still get that texture from them. But I love keeping them in instead of just that liquid from them.
Right. I'm with you on that. I really enjoyed it and it was a little bit different and it didn't taste like just jam you get off the shelf. And then also with your banana bread, I love the chunky nuts in it. And so it's not these little fine things. I love chewing on, you know, um, most of the time the chunky stuff. So it was just really great. Just so you
You've got
know, so
texture.
yeah. Oh, what I did do is I had a peanut butter. We were trying some vegan desserts for me, just to try and cut down on the sugar. And so there was a mixture. I think it was dates and peanut butter, natural peanut butter, and it was for like some cupcakes. So we had it extra, and I spread it on the banana bread. And oh my goodness, it even took it to the next level. I'm like, this is so good.
That
And
sounds really
and
amazing.
my husband was going to throw it out. And I'm like, no, I need to try it. And then I did. I'm like, oops, going back in the refrigerator.
You found use for it and now you need it.
Exactly, I did. So